All right, great. Let's just start off quickly. First and foremost, my normal greeting to everybody. Salam, marhaba, namaste, sat sri akal, and a very unique way of mentioning to all my colleagues and friends in Malaysia, Selamat Pagi, to my colleagues in Philippines, Mabuhay, and to my wonderful colleagues in Australia as well, good day. And to all the people who are, I think, at this time sleeping in Canada, good night and good day to you in advance. Right, this session, as you can see, is quite unique. It is, as we all say, Facebook Live, but at the same time, this is something which we have built up core for our own set of team members who are currently hopefully online, and then at the same time, they are in Malaysia going through certain challenges. The topic, if you can see behind me, it's essentially going to be saying that 7 motivational principles for agents or for salespeople to remember. It's no rocket science, to be very frank with you, but at the same time, it's something which I guess every one of us needs to be reminded of. Every one of us needs to, I guess, refresh our memory, refresh our basic techniques, refresh our basic knowledge, and hopefully gain a little bit more impetus from there and start growing and start excelling in what we are all currently doing nowadays. So hopefully, if I can see if anybody's on with me right now. All right, namaste to you too, thank you. Now, quickly on to the topic, I'll see if my beautiful and most competent colleague Rochelle is with me here. She's always the one who's hiding behind the cameras. She will let me know if at all I am missing out on anything, or at the same time you can comment and keep on guiding me. First and foremost, as you can see, hopefully at the back, that successful agents are termed as somebody who is resourceful. Now, at the same time, you should keep in mind that success is a reflection of your resourcefulness. It is not a reflection of the resources which are at your disposal. And primarily, the resourcefulness that any individual is going to display in their daily routine, in the way they are going to go about and construct their businesses, or go about and conduct and execute their sales strategies, that is what is eventually going to be the hallmark of your success, which will be recognized by people around you, your peers, and so on. There are obviously always obstacles when you are going to be going for such a particular endeavor. That, I guess, is essentially the way life is built, that you will be coming across different challenges of various kinds, professionally, personally, even mentally at times. You need to have that resourcefulness inside you to figure out what the key area is which is holding you back, and then try and figure out the particular solution to that, and hopefully move forward and achieve your targets. One of the main, I guess I can use the word tools, is your mindset. How you develop your mind, how you develop certain set of skills to train yourself regularly in going about a particular job, in going about a particular activity. That is the key to making you a success. That is the key which will make you different from all the other people around you, within your industry, and so on. So the mindset, I guess, is the number one tool, or the number one activity that you can obviously work on, improve on, and which will eventually empower you. And it will help you to drive forward. Set up a particular target, and you put your mind onto it. You make sure that you are developing the resources in order to reach that particular target. It can be a financial target, it can be a personal target, it can be something which probably you're doing for your own self-need. It varies from time to time, but the idea is that the focus should be there. The ability to highlight that particular need and to accomplish it, that is what you have to keep on trying to train yourself with, I guess. As you can see at the back, I've just put in a small lining. I'll sum it up. giving up is not the answer. I remember a couple of people I was sitting with some time back, and they were telling me uh, success stories of many people within the real estate industry, and even, I guess, of people who are now known globally. Basically, the underlying word was that you give up when you die. Other than that, the option of giving up on a particular target, on a particular endeavor, I believe that should not be there for human beings. We have been built by God Almighty to strive, to always look at the bright side of things, to always keep on pushing forward optimistically, constructively, and that's how the evolution moves ahead in a time span of a person's life. And hopefully you're living a good life when you are obviously maintaining such morals. At the same time, see, again, when you start giving up, it essentially means that you are going to lose your self-esteem first and foremost. You are obviously at the same time going to be, I guess, getting off track a number of times. So the option of losing or the option of giving up, I think, should not be built into our genes. You should be looking at people to get inspiration from them. You should be looking at yourself on a regular basis to basically figure out how best can I improve myself from time to time. And in respect to that, I guess the first and foremost principle that you can obviously keep in mind is creativity. Now, creativity is essentially something, to some people it's God-gifted. To some people, they acquire it over a process of time. They train themselves. They hone in onto different skill sets. And with those particular skill sets, they ensure that they are going to obviously be a better version of themselves. Now, what we are doing here today, although you can call it a normal Facebook live video, but at the same time, like I said earlier, because of the scenario that we are facing, or IQI KL office is facing at the moment because of the COVID-19 virus, we are getting creative about it in the sense that we are ensuring that we are still connecting with each other. We are still trying to learn and share our experiences, our knowledge with everybody within the KL office or within the ASEAN offices or even the global offices. And this is one medium that we have decided to utilize, to get creative about, and hopefully enrich everybody's life, help out people who are probably getting bored at some point of time, or who are still trying to figure out what is the next step forward once this particular phase passes through. Again, resourcefulness is something which is going to be a key factor in your creativity process. You need to figure out, with whatever tools you have, with whatever budgeting you have, what is the best way to do it. And like I remember, I think Jack Ma had probably said that at one time, that when you get difficulties, you will get opportunities. You have to ensure, I guess, what he was trying to point out is that be the first one to avail a particular opportunity. There will be many, many people who will be coming forward and they will be availing opportunities at a particular set of time. But if you are one of the first one, thanks to your creativity, who can avail a particular opportunity on time, you will obviously be the one who will be leading the pack. Simply saying it, successful people, successful agents are problem solvers. They are the solution to the problem. They are not people with that mindset who will say this is a problem and that is a problem and that needs to be taken care of, or that needs to be sorted out, or that cannot be done. Successful people, successful agents are essentially problem solvers. They are the key to any particular solution. And then at the same time, what they will do is that they will leverage their relationship, they will leverage their expertise, and depending on person to person, whatever strengths they carry, they will reach out and help their particular community. They will reach out and help probably their colleagues into growing and into developing a better, stronger force in order to move ahead and get great accomplishments. like I said, I personally believe this, and I'm sure even all my colleagues, a lot of them who have had the pleasure to interact with in all my trips across to Asia from time to time, you can only harness your true potential when you develop the habit of giving. That can be in terms of knowledge. For that in particular, I would like to thank Adrian. His Facebook Live session was immensely eye-opening for me, and even for the tips that he allowed us to, that he shared with us, and probably you're seeing it on my Facebook Live at the moment. It's a crude version, but that's again is something that he gave out the information. Tony in the morning, Daniel and Sheila when they did their Facebook Live a couple of days ago. Again, I love the idea for the coin toss that he was mentioning. It was a beautiful thought, how you can use these things to hopefully put your perspective correct. Which brings us on to the second point. Passion is what it is all about. You develop that desire inside of you as an individual for whatever work, for whatever activity that you are undertaking. Because at one point of time, there are hundreds of people who are doing the same job as you. There are hundreds of people who are doing the same work as you. What will set you aside from others is your, apart from your mindset, it's going to be your passion. With what conviction are you going to go ahead? You're going to basically understand those tasks, undertake them, and then go ahead and complete them. So with the passion that you're going to develop for your work, that's automatically going to obviously translate on to people around you. That's going to translate on to even the people who are you going to be dealing with. They can be your clients, they can be your family members, associates from different companies. That gives you an underlining edge as an individual, that you are somebody people would like to interact with. You are somebody people will obviously like to learn from and maybe share their thoughts, share their ideas. Why? Because you are displaying a trait or a passion essentially, which I feel should not be going down with age. It should be growing more. You should know that your time on earth is obviously limited. As you are growing older, your passion should be growing rather than diminishing. You should ensure that things which kick you into action, and be it monetary wise, be it spiritually, keep on refreshing yourself on those points. More importantly, don't let other people affect your mood. It's all self-driven. It's self-cultivated. It's generally a thought that you develop in your own conscious, and then you let it grow. You let other people see the positivity of it, and then hopefully from there on it turns into a bigger movement. It turns in fact into a working culture. It turns into a working culture which will not only make your daily life all the more enjoyable, but people around you, they will understand, they will appreciate the mindset that an individual is carrying, and at the same time that it's translating on to people around you. Spread it out. Don't just hold it among yourselves. The passion that we at IQI obviously have been working on diligently, consistently for such a long time. I have met with a lot of people here in the Gulf, and always they come up to me and they say, wow, you guys are really something. It's hard to believe that you are still going strong. You're still going with the same passion with which you probably started off maybe a good 5, 6, 7 years ago. That's again, the key factor is that one person started off with a vision, he had the passion, he passed it on to another person, and then so on and so on and so on. And today we have managed to build onto that vision. We are trying to obviously go even further with that particular mindset, and hopefully the future is going to be even more better. Third thing, the main principle that I guess any salesperson or any agent should always keep in mind is decisiveness. You have to trust your instincts. You have to learn to basically understand a situation. When you set up a particular goal and when you are working towards it, you have to ensure that you are going to trust your instincts and make the correct choices in terms of relating information to clients, make the correct choices in terms of probably even setting up documentation, make the correct choices based on your hunch, based on your experiences when you are going to be talking to people, and you will display to them that you are somebody who knows what he or she is doing. Another factor which comes into play is obviously when you are setting daily goals for yourselves. When you set up the daily activities or daily goals for yourself, automatically what you're doing is that you are prompting yourself into getting into action. You are getting into that zone or getting into that frame of mind that when you know that there is a certain activity that needs to be completed, you will act decisively. You will ensure that whatever needs to be done will get done on time, and you will achieve the result that you are actually pushing for. I'm smiling because this is the main principle that I like the most. Be honest. Trust me, as our elders, I guess, even say today, honesty is the best policy. Honesty is the most simplest policy, and honesty is the policy which will effectively make your lives as smooth and simple as possible. Now, as an agent, what honesty comes across to you is somebody who is obviously going to do their actions on a daily basis with the utmost sincerity. They will reach out to clients with the genuine intention of helping them, with the genuine intention of making their decision, probably of obtaining a house or maybe getting up a mortgage set up, with the intention of helping them, not with the intention of looking at what is it in it for me first. When a client or an individual comes across, meets with you, and he sees that trait clear upfront in you, they realize that there is a spark in this person in front of me, and that will automatically attract them. That will automatically give them the comfort to come and talk to you again, build a relationship with you. And based on that relationship, obviously the whole process starts moving forward, it starts growing, and you obviously both of you benefit. Another thing is, like what I'm even doing today, I acknowledge a number of my colleagues who I see on Facebook Live, and I intend to keep on seeing. And what I learn from them is basically which is helping me become better. So at the same time, when you know that you have learned a particular skill set, you have learned a particular tool, or you've garnered some knowledge which will obviously be an input for you, acknowledge it, appreciate it, be it from even somebody who you don't really care about that much, but you've seen them do a particular activity which you feel is going to be beneficial. Acknowledge it, be honest about it, there's no harm in it. In fact, it makes you the better person, it makes you the bigger person. Where am I going? And this particular glitch is thanks to Rachel right here.
Yeah.
It flew forward. All right, here we go. Sincerity, number 5. Obviously, see the number that we put up here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, they are not in any particular grid. It's just the way we assembled it. All of these 7 principles, I feel, are pretty much on a similar plane line, at par with each and every one. Like I just admitted very sincerely that there was a glitch in the presentation. Anyways, you need to admit where your shortfalls are. You need to admit them. Once you admit them sincerely, only then you are going to be in a position to correct them and grow from them and learn from them. But at the same time, when you are taking care of interaction with clients, when you're taking care of interaction with team members, your sincerity comes through. The belief system that you are cultivating obviously grows stronger when you have your, I guess, set of morals, or you're sincere about them. When you're sincere that the belief system that you're cultivating is essentially going to be the benefit of not just one person, but the whole team around you, or your clients, or your peers who you're interacting with, automatically that gives you the upward trend, that gives you the lift that you need. One example is, I guess, digitalized world, um, the sincerity that you put in to try and communicate with the client, the amount of sincerity that again you try to develop that empathy for people who you are dealing with, and they understand that you are making a sincere effort to understand their needs or to try to fulfill their difficulties or to find a solution for the difficulties. These things carry a lot of weightage for people who are going to be interacting with you. This will automatically turn into something like an endorsement of you as a person, the endorsement of you as a successful and a caring person, and as a unique agent who is representing a set of values which I guess not a lot of other people exhibit every time around. Definitely take you a long way. More accurately, if I feel, it makes you stand out. It will make you stand out, and people will realize that the person that they have just met up with, and the amount of sincerity that that person has showed us in conducting a particular viewing, or in conducting a particular tour, letting us know the plus and minuses of any particular property, they remember that. Consistency is something which I think people don't stress it enough. Consistency is something which even I guess us as sales agents or individuals, we don't really look at it that aggressively, but this is probably the biggest key to being successful in whatever work that you pick up with. When you do periodic efforts and then you let them go, you do not sustain them, then automatically your growth chart keeps on fluctuating up and down. But when you know that your goals have been set up for the full year, your goals have been set up for maybe let's say 1 month, and you are going to be consistently making activities, you're going to be consistently trying to tweak them and make sure that you are heading in the same direction, your goal is set, you have broken it down into, let's say, a weekly schedule, and you will, again, I'm repeating the word, consistently ensuring that you are heading in that direction. You are showing the resourcefulness that you have developed in yourself, obviously with complete honesty, first to yourself, then to the others around you. That will automatically propel you into a different zone altogether. That thing said, consistency, I feel, is still one of the hardest principles that any individual or any salesperson can maintain. You have to develop that skill set to be consistent. You have to be resourceful enough to be consistent day in and day out. Obviously, as it says at the back, that sort of consistency is going to give you better results than any other trade that you can work on. Last but not least, dedication. Thank you, Rachel. You even gave me a medal there. Thank you. Now, see, again, dedication is again something that you will figure out with the passage of time, in the sense that when you dedicate yourself in terms of learning, in terms of working, and in terms of setting about a particular challenge, you amass all your, again, resourcefulness, knowledge, teamwork, and you put a dedicated effort in reaching to that particular goal. So it requires a lot of preparation when you dedicate yourself on a normal basis, on a working scenario. It requires a lot of motivation at the same time, that you need to start, first and foremost, start motivating yourself. Keep yourself motivated. Ensure that whatever activity that you're doing, they are going to give you that result sooner or later. You need to remain dedicated. For that, should you need to learn some topics, should you need to probably interact with peers around you who are more seasoned than you, more dedicated than you, please do that. Please do that. There's no harm in learning from people who are probably even younger than you or the same age as you, or like I said, traditionally older than you. They will show you these traits, they will give you ideas, and then you can dedicate those ideas, encompass them to make sure that you are again on track for your particular journey. Dedicate yourself, commit yourself to reaching the goal that you have set out. Don't let, how should I say, barriers stop. Don't let these sort of, how should I say, again, obstacles to allow you to step back from your goals. When you are about to make a longer leap, you take always 2-3 steps back, and then you jump forward with more conviction, with more passion, and with more determination. So I guess my whole purpose for doing this talk was essentially to try and just give you a couple of reminders that these key principles obviously have a very good and a very positive effect on people. And if I summarize it, we need to be consistent on these things on a daily basis. We need to obviously keep our focus. The track that we have set out for ourselves for this particular year in 2020, as individuals, as an organization, we need to make sure that we are reminding ourselves that those goals are still pretty achievable. Write this principle down if you feel, or if you have the time, you can obviously go through the particular talk again at any given time. And like I said, develop the attitude. It's the attitude which is going to determine your altitude. Simply put, the attitude that you develop from developing and learning these 7 core principles is what is going to determine how far, how high, how better you get to be. I think that's about it from my side. Thank you all so very much for your time. And did you get anything for me? Thank you, Renee, Scarlett, Grace, Maria, everybody who's been logged on. I really appreciate your time. God bless you all. Stay safe, and we will be in touch regularly. Thank you again.